This week on side projects, just showing off parts of the garden in this video. Some updated stuff. Sunflowers are getting tall. I took down this trellis. I found out how bush beans work, and this is not the ideal, so I have to pull these up and dig out this bigger square, put some wood chips on top of it, plant the beans in a grid, and I'll produce much better green beans than what I got this time. Although I did get very good green beans this time, but they can still be a lot better. As you can see, there's tons of them down here, but that could have been 10 times as much if I knew what I was doing. I trimmed my sweet potatoes back quite a bit into slips. And actually, let's go take a walk over there and take a look at the slips. Here they are. They are just starting to grow little roots out of all those little stems. I'll give them a few more days to grow. So the cowpeas have been producing quite well, but on some of these you can see that there are a bunch of ants all over. Like here you can see one ant in like a guard post, and it's waiting until these are ripe to go and tell all the other ants to come over. And once these are ripe, it's going to try and get the beans out of it. They've been tearing them up. So I'm gonna have to do something to control those pests. And they've been tearing up quite a few beans, getting rid of big chunks of my crop here. Now I still got tons from this, but in the future I'm gonna have to worry about the ants ahead of time. Still lots of them growing too. So here's some of my haul of cowpeas. I've got some yellow ones over here that are drying out. I've got some purple, yellow and purple. You know, I grew them next to each other and I'm harvesting them at the same time. These are all shucked already. There's no peas left in them. And that's what I got out of them. Okay. And basically all I'm doing here is I'm watch shows. And I'm doing this one-handed. But you just kind of pinch it and it just falls apart pretty easy. And then I pull it apart like this. And then it's in two pieces. And then I grab this with one hand here, and I run my other hand down it, and it pulls all the peas off. And that's it. It goes pretty quick. Some of the cowpeas, the outside of them was getting a bit moldy, and then I started laying them out a lot better. And you can see that the cowpea on the inside also got a little bit moldy. I harvested a few green beans yesterday. I'm just going to use these for seeds for my new patch once I get it all pulled up. These are still habaneros that are like 5 in a grouping, but those I managed to pull apart into individual groupings, and they're starting to stand back up since I replanted them. You might notice that the lens looks a little different. That's because I put a wide angle lens on it this time. Just testing it out, seeing how it works. This is my tallest sunflower right here. It's about 5'8". They're starting to produce their flowers on the tops. The tomatoes have been doing very well. I picked off a whole bunch of tomatoes the other day, and just as many are ripe now. I had twice as many flowers as I've seen on this thing, and now they're all just a bunch of little tomatoes everywhere. So those will be a big crop pretty soon. When I just moved around some piles over here, I had my compost pile here. I put it back there in the back of the yard so that it's out of the way, and it's pretty much done. I don't need to turn it anymore. That's my next compost pile there. Haven't started it yet, but it's got a bunch of the fixings in it already. And I just weeded this out, and I need to move all this back over there so that the yard's opened up, because I'm planning on putting a couple mango trees in this zone here. Peanuts are going a little hog wild. They're getting big and they're producing tons of flowers every day. So each flower becomes a peanut, or has a potential to anyway. Each flower becomes a peanut in the ground. And then these cactuses here in the back, some of these are starting to get plump, which is good. That's a sign that they're gonna change colors and become ripe. And there's a third grouping of little fruits all growing, and these are all growing on new leaves. This is a new leaf. This is a new leaf. All these popped up since February, March. And then over here we've got our first grouping of fruits that popped up that are all starting to change color and become nice and ripe and plump. Our front yard sunflowers are starting to get pretty tall. Tall enough that I can see them through the grass at least. A lot of the fruits on these cactuses up front are starting to ripen up too. Instead of it just being like 1 or 2 a season, now it's like 15 at least right now. And hopefully, because this watering system is better and the fertilizer is getting in there, hopefully this upcoming year I'll wind up with hundreds of fruits. But 15's not bad.